Earth, our blue planet, the only home we have, breathing silently in the vast emptiness of space, sustained by its unique atmosphere. But what if one day, this protective veil, this invisible shield of life, suddenly disappeared? What if one morning, we rushed to the window and saw the sky, not blue, but pitch black? Maybe the first to notice would be a farmer. Walking out to his field at dawn, he wouldn't feel the familiar cool air. There'd be no chirping birds, not even a gentle breeze. The air would feel like it vanished. And suddenly, everything stops. The first thing we'd notice is silence. True, absolute silence. Because without an atmosphere, there is no medium for sound, no gas to carry vibrations. You could scream, and no one would hear it. The wind wouldn't blow, leaves wouldn't rustle, Earth would be swallowed by silence. The silence of space. Then instinctively, we try to take a deep breath. But that would be our final effort. No oxygen, no carbon dioxide, no nitrogen, nothing. The sky may still look familiar, but the invisible layer that makes life possible is gone. Our lungs struggle against the vacuum. Within seconds, oxygen deprivation reaches our brain. Consciousness fades. Panic sets in, but it doesn't last long, because the mind shuts down almost instantly. And then, the sun. Its rays hit us directly, unfiltered. Normally, our ozone layer blocks much of the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation. But now, it's all exposed. UV floods our skin, tears through our DNA. Our cells can't handle the sudden radiation overload. Our eyes, unprepared for this new blinding light, begin to burn. It's not light anymore, it's radiation. The retinas suffer immediate damage. Blindness becomes inevitable. And pressure? Gone, reduced to zero, like the vacuum of outer space. The pressure difference between the inside and outside of our bodies becomes catastrophic. Fluids inside our bodies begin to boil, not from heat, but from the lack of pressure. Our blood and cellular fluids reach their boiling point. Bubbles form, veins expand, tissues rupture. Gases in our body rapidly expand, especially in our lungs. If we hold our breath, our lungs might burst. Even if we exhale, the damage is unavoidable. The body can't survive this kind of shock. Unconsciousness is almost immediate. But it's not just humans. Birds fall from the sky. Fish float to the surface as pressure drops, only to be stranded in quickly evaporating oceans. Plants stop photosynthesizing. The entire web of life begins to collapse. And this is only the first few minutes. The sun's effect intensifies rapidly. The atmosphere doesn't just provide oxygen, it also regulates temperature. Without it, Earth's surface heats up dramatically during the day. Temperatures rise to 120 degrees Celsius, 248 degrees Fahrenheit. Asphalt melts, concrete cracks, everything begins to vaporize. Even shadows can't offer protection. But what about night? When the sun sets, the heat escapes directly into space. Nothing holds it in. Earth plunges into a deadly cold. Minus 100 degrees Celsius, minus 148 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe lower. Water freezes solid. Metal contracts. Thermal shock causes buildings to fracture and fall apart. These extreme temperature swings would render Earth uninhabitable in just days. Scorching soil by day, frozen wastelands by night. Plants die. Even microorganisms can't survive. And then, the oceans. Water exists on Earth because of atmospheric pressure. Without it, the oceans begin to boil at surprisingly low temperatures. The water turns into vapor, but with no atmosphere to contain it, it escapes into space. This doesn't happen in hours. It may take years, but once it starts, it can't be reversed. Earth becomes dry, cracked, a planet of dust, and the sky no longer blue. Stars become visible even in the daytime. At night, the moon and galaxies shine brighter than ever, unfiltered by haze or clouds. A breathtaking view, but deadly. But that's not all. Our atmosphere also shields us from thousands of tiny meteors every day. Normally they burn up upon entry, but now, with no protection, they strike the surface directly. Each tiny rock could destroy a car, penetrate a building, shatter concrete. The Earth's surface becomes a minefield of constant impacts. And what about our technology? Atmosphere blocks solar radiation and charged particles from the sun. Without it, Earth is bombarded directly. Radio signals are disrupted, satellites fail, GPS stops working, the internet collapses, power grids overload and die. Electronics go dark. Humans can no longer communicate. No messages, no news, no help, just silence. Civilization halts, and over time, Earth begins to change. The soil dries and cracks. There is no wind, because there is no air. No clouds form, because there's no moisture. No rain falls, because the water cycle is gone. Every cycle ends. The water cycle, the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle, all gone. Ecosystems disappear. Forests go silent. Even bacteria fade. Only extremophiles deep beneath the surface might survive a little longer, but eventually even they vanish. The surface becomes sterile, like Mars. Dry, reddish, cold, silent. And humans? We're no longer here. If Earth's atmosphere vanished instantly, there would be no escape. Maybe an astronaut in a sealed suit survives a bit longer, or someone in a deep, self-contained underground bunker. But even then, their time is limited. Without atmosphere, life cannot continue. Maybe we'd search for life elsewhere. Or maybe that would be the end. But perhaps this is a warning. The atmosphere isn't just a layer of gas. It's our lifeline. With every breath, we depend on it. It's invisible, but it carries all life. Losing it would mean losing Earth. And while this scenario is unlikely to happen suddenly, real-world threats like climate change, ozone depletion, and air pollution remind us our atmosphere is more fragile than we think. So maybe the real question we should be asking is, what are we doing to protect it? Because one day, it might be too late.